Hello, everyone. Good evening. And welcome to another exciting time at the Authors Business Summit 3.0. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. If you're live, please drop in the chat that you're live with us. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Please type something in the chats, in the comments. Let me know you're here with us and you're ready to get all that we have for you today. Let me quickly go through the comments. Do we have anybody live with us here? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the Author Business Summit 3.0 Day 2. Yesterday was amazing. I tell you, if you're not able to watch it yesterday, I advise that immediately after now, go catch the replay. But today is another great day, and we're looking forward to all the amazing things our speakers have for us today. Trust me, amazing is an understatement. So good evening, everyone. I see Blessing Uchenna. Good evening. I see someone else, Facebook user. You probably didn't log in to StreamYard. That's why your name is not showing. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to the Authors Business Summit Day 2. I'm super excited. Drum rolls, please. Drum rolls. All right. So we're getting right into it, but I would like more people to join in. So I would advise that you would see a share button. Please share the links everywhere. Share it on Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Get your community, get your friends and network to join, because trust me, today is going to be a fantastic day, and this would not be a waste of your time. Like I said earlier, my name is Victoria Wana, and it's an honor to be anchoring and moderating the section for today. And before we proceed, please type in the chat where you're watching in from. I'm streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. Tell us where you're streaming in from, and accompany that with your favorite emoji. So if you like dancing like me, put that dancing emoji. If you are happy, put that happy emoji by the side of your location. So just type Lagos, Nigeria, and then your favorite emoji if you're in Lagos. Let's go. I'm looking at the comments to see who is here. Who is here? Blessing, where are you from? Where are you streaming in from? Facebook user, where are you streaming in from? Please share with us. We want to know where you are. Grateful to technology that's connected all of us, regardless of the location. We can get value just by the swipe of our phones. Okay, Blessing says Anambra State, Nigeria. And I'm trying to figure out the emoji she used. Okay, laughing emoji. And the person, Melody. Hi, Melody. Welcome. Good evening. Where are you watching in from? Okay, another person says Ogun State, Nigeria. What's the emoji you put there? I can't see that clear. Welcome again. Welcome. Just one more person and then we start because we're good to go. Our speaker is right here with us. Okay, Melody said from Benin Republic International, whether it's neighboring or not. Yes, great. So good to have you here, Melody. Thank you for joining in. Advise that you share the link on your WhatsApp. We're streaming live on Facebook and also on YouTube for the Authors Business Summit Day 2. And today we're having two fantastic guests with us here. And just looking to see if we have an extra viewer. Please share. All right, great. Not to waste much of our time, I'm ready. I'm sure you're ready too. If you're ready, type in the chat that you're ready because I need to feel that vibe. If you're ready for today, if you're an author and you're ready to start making money to create a multiple income streams from your book, whether 1 or 10, type I'm ready. And if you're an intending author, you've just been hearing, people saying I'm an author and you're wondering, how can I start? Or how can I even make money from my writings? Or when I eventually launch my book? You are in the right place because today you'll be fed and fed well with strategies, proven strategies from experts, people who have done it over time and helped thousands of people to do it, to launch their books and make money from it. And so today, okay, I can see I'm ready. Great. I'm ready to, trust me, I am. And our speaker is ready as well. Yay, great. Okay, so let's get right into it today. I'm super honored to be moderating this section. And we're getting right into the first section for today. And we'll be having Dikta Ijoma. She's going to be teaching us and sharing with us on how to profit from your writing skill. You write on Instagram, you write on Facebook, you write, whether a book or article, and you're wondering, how can I even monetize this? Don't worry, not to worry. After this section today, the next 15 minutes, you will be able to map out multiple income streams. And I know that a lot of people like the sound of money already. Okay, so let me quickly read the bio of our speaker and get her right on the virtual stage. Ijoma Dikta Okoye is the founder of Creative Writers and Influencers Network Africa, a community of thousands of writers, authors, entrepreneurs, and professionals from over 102 countries of the world. Wow. It is an intellectual community that is set to help members become profitable using viable new media tools. She is a professional editor, content management expert, business strategist, and writing coach with footprints in Europe, Liberia, Canada, the US, and a lot more of other countries. As a book project consultant, she has worked with world-class professionals, including CEOs, doctors, lecturers, government officials, consultants, amongst others. She is the best-selling author of 4 books, including Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. She is also the president of the International Movement for Authors, which has been a support platform for intending and existing authors who wish to own their voice. In 2019, her impact as a new media influencer saw her to an official nomination for the Entrepreneur Africa Awards Prize for Creative Arts. She has been consciously working on the new media monetization strategies for businesses and individuals who want to increase their income. At this point, because the bio is very long and it's not just filled with fluff, it is filled with real stuff. This lady is amazing. Please, I want to see in the comments your claps and the fire emojis. Let me see you getting ready for her because trust me, she is set to pour value on us. Someone says, I'm ready. Please put the fire emoji here. Put the fire emojis in the comments. amazing profile. I can go on and on. She is a committed young African whose pen has changed lives, and she's continuously leading life-changing courses in her environment. All she does is regards her profession, and her giant strides in the area of personal development can be found on her official website at www.okoyeijoma.com. It is with every ovation I can muster, a clapping ovation, a standing ovation if you can, a smiling ovation like I'm doing, an emoji ovation. Let's make welcome today our first speaker for the Authors Business Summit 3.0 Day 2, Dicta Ijoma. She talks on profiting from your writing skill. Welcome, Ma. Good evening.
Hello, Victoria. Good evening. Thank you so much. I've been listening to you and I was like, wow, is that my bio that you were really reading?
Very
Thank you so much for adding source
to
to it.
Well done. Thank you.
We're so
looking forward
much.
to learning from you. Over to you, Ma. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. If you can hear me loud and clear, let me see it in the comment section. One thing I want you to do now is I want you to get the link of this video, this particular live session. I want you to get the link and send it right to somebody. Have it on your WhatsApp status, put it up there on your WhatsApp status, put it up there on your Facebook page, share it on your stories. Tell somebody that at this point, somebody else wants to teach how to profit as a writer. And if you are a writer, you want to see how you can actually start profiting from your skill, I want to be sharing with you a bit of my knowledge so that you would get started. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining the session. Thank you so much to Print Doctor Africa for hosting this Authors Business Summit. Thank you so much for taking out your time to host this event. You know, one thing that excites me about Print Doctor Africa is how they have birthing dreams, right? So one thing that is difficult for most authors is not the writing, it's not the editing, it is usually the publishing. And when people find it so difficult to publish, the next thing is what? They dump that book. But over time, Print Doctor Africa has been birthing dreams. Print Doctor Africa has helped a lot of people to publish their books, right? So I had this particular client of mine who wanted to work on her book. Well, one thing she said to me was that the publisher she met before told her that before she could publish her book, she had to publish a certain amount, that's a certain number of books, I think up to 1,000, and then her book had to reach a certain number of words. And I was like, wow, I have not heard such kind of thing before. And the fact is this, a lot of publishers would tell you that before you start or before you publish your book, that your book have to probably get to a particular number of words, or you have to publish a particular number. But you see, Print Doctor have been betting lives, have been betting dreams, and helping a lot of authors to get published. And I am super excited about it. So thank you so much, Print Doctor Africa, for betting dreams. Thank you so much for not limiting your authors to a certain number, and for allowing people to publish their books even up to 50 copies from 50 and above, I think. Then thank you so much. All right, today I want to talk about profiting as a writer. All right, so just as the bio read, my name is Okoye Ijoma Dicta, and as you see it right there, I am an editor, a writer's coach, a book project consultant, online business strategist, content management expert, and of course I am the facilitator of the Millionaire School of Profit and other projects that I work on. All right, so I want you to get ready for a life-changing experience. I want you to understand that after this session, two things will happen. It is either you start making money from your writing skill, or you start seeking how to make more money from your writing skill. That's the two things that will happen today. All right, so let's go right to the next slide. All right, so one thing I wanted to share with you is that there was a period of my life where I had just graduated from my diploma program. I had finished my diploma program, and I was now looking forward to gaining employment while I wait for my university education. That's to go further in my university education. And at that period, I had to take up a job. Now, right there on the picture is the picture of me smiling when I was working in an office in an organization after my diploma program. So you could see me smiling. But man, the pressure, the stress, and everything I was going through at that point, all right, it was something that I didn't want to share with anybody. Why? Because at that point I was earning 6,000 naira, and that's the 6,000 naira was taking me right from as transport fare, feeding, whatever. What can you think about? That was what 6,000 naira was spending for me. And that was the stage I began to understand that I needed to do something more. I needed to take a step. I needed to wake up from my slumber. If I was going to get any kind of reward, if I was going to move away from that stage that I was, then I needed to do something. That was the stage where I began to ask myself a lot of questions. Let me share this thing with you. If you are at that point where you are confused about your life, if you are at that point where you are confused about what you really want, right? The thing that you would do for yourself now is to move away from just thinking to start asking questions. Start asking yourself questions. What do I need to do at this point? What do I need to do at this moment of my life? And that was what helped me. At that point, I was asking myself, what do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? What skill do I need to learn for me to actually move from the stage that I was to a better stage? And the fear was this. I was in the labor market, but I was afraid of my future. I was afraid of what it would be like for me after my university education. Yes, I had the dreams of going further to in my university education, which I did, right? So I was afraid that after my university education, I will still go back to point one. I will still go back to that point I was after my diploma education. You see, now what I did at that point was I began to ask myself a lot of questions. And that question was what actually brought me to this stage you are seeing me now, right? I began to ask myself, what do I need clarity on? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? And because I was giving myself honest answers, I was able to move from this person you see there to the next person you see. Please, let's go to the next slide. Beautiful. So who you're seeing there now is somebody who now decided that she was going to put her writing skill into profit. You're going to make her writing skill bring her massive income. All right. And just that picture is just one of the channels through which you can start making money from your writing skill, right? So that picture there signifies what? Me writing a book. I was able to write a book. When the Pen Bleeds, Every Writer's Secret, Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. And of course, these two books you're saying right there were published by Print Doctor Africa. But what's my point? My point is that you can move from the point where you are now. You can move from the level you are now to earning from your skill. You can move from that person who is broke, who is confused about life, who has given up, who has almost given up on life, right? You can move from that point to this point where you are now making money from your skill. Let's go to the next slide. Now, I have not just moved from writing books, I have also moved to speaking at events, training people, both physically and virtually, and even hosting my own events, right? So the first picture there was me speaking at a book launch for one of my clients. The second picture was me training at a workshop. The third picture signifies the periods when I am giving virtual lectures. So it's not like where I am teaching now. It is the virtual lecture. So that's also what that picture is showing. And then the fourth picture is showing me hosting one of the biggest events in the city of Auckland, Awka, Anambra State, and having my speakers fly in to come and share their thoughts. And yes, we had top industry experts fly into Anambra State to come and share their thoughts. Now, what's my message for you today? You can start profiting from your skill. You can start making money from your writing skill. Now, let's talk about why are we talking about writing? Let's talk about writing. Why are we making emphasis on writing? Let's go to the next slide. Why are we making emphasis on writing? Why is writing so important? Why does it seem as though writing is something that people should pay attention to? All right. So one thing I want to share with you today is that you can actually move from not having any idea about the skill to deciding that you will pick up writing as a skill, and then deciding that you would make money from your skill. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the next slide says, why writing? So I want to share with you, before I start talking about profiting from your writing skill, I want to share with you why you need to pay attention to your writing skill. Number one, writing is a two-way tool, right? Writing is a two-way tool. You use writing to communicate, and you use writing to position yourself to earn. You use writing to communicate your thoughts. Use writing as a tool to communicate your thoughts. Then you also use writing to do what? To position yourself to earn. A lot of people will say, okay, I don't need to learn how to write. There are people who are writers. I'm not a writer. Hey, no. Everybody is a writer. Everybody needs to learn how to write. And until you are able to understand that writing is not just a tool, it's not just a skill for communication, it is also a tool that can help you to communicate your thoughts and make money. And when we talk about making money, it's also a two-way thing. You make money by offering your writing services to people, and you make money by using your writing skill to attract people to buy whatever you're selling. I'll take that again. Writing is a two-way tool. You make money from writing by offering your services to people, and then you are able to attract people to your own business because you're able to write. You use your writing skill to attract people to your own brand, to your own business, in order for them to buy from you. Number two is that it's a communication tool, just like I mentioned in number one. Number three, it is an authority building skill. Now, there are two authority building skills: writing and speaking. Writing and speaking. If you look at the world-renowned influencers, if you look at the world-renowned experts, if you look at the people who touch life most, you would understand that these people have one or two of these skills and are making use of them in the most excellent way. All right. So number one is writing. They have a very wonderful and excellent writing skill, such that they create content and people are excited about their content. Number two is that they are able to speak well. So when you see somebody who is building massive influence and authority, you know that that person can either write or the person can speak. Now, when it comes to the case of writing, we find that a lot of people have built authority. They have built influence because they are able to create content that attracts attention, right? The next one is community building, right? You can use your writing skill to build a community. You can build a community around your business. You can build a community around your book. You can build a community around your message. Whatever way you want to build your community, writing skill is very important. Then the next one, which is bringing us to the massive point, is that it is a profit channel. It is a profit channel. So writing is a profit channel. You make money from writing. You make money from your writing skill, in the sense that you are able to show how much your skill can be offered to people. You can be able to tell people that, hey, see, this writing skill of mine, I can use it to offer you so and so services, right? So let's talk about the various profit channels that writing can be used as. Number one, ghostwriting. So writing can actually become a tool for you when you decide to go into the business of ghostwriting. Number two, editing. So a lot of people said people who are editors are just people who can spot errors. No, if you want to become a powerful editor, you must know how to be a content developer. You must be able to know how to get people's content and put it in the right way. All right, you need to know how to write. A lot of people say, okay, it's not just to pick out comma, grammatical errors, and no, that's not what editing is all about. As long as you call yourself an editor, you should be able to develop a particular content, all right? You should be able to develop it to suit a particular standard, and you cannot do that when you cannot write. Number three, brand communication. All right, brand communication covers a lot of things. It covers social media management, it covers content creation, it covers CEO branding, it covers website copy, right? So you can decide to pick any of the niches under brand communication and grow with it. You can decide that, okay, you want to become a social media manager. You want to go into social media management, meaning that you are going to start thinking and acting like a brand in order for them to attract sales. You start handling their pages, you start handling their platforms so that they can make money, all right? So when they make money, they can also pay you, right? That's how it works. But the thing you need to also understand that social media management is not just about them making money. Social media management can also be about them building authority. All right. So let's just move to number three is brand communication. Then number four again is you can make money from your writing skill by blogging. Right? You can make money from your writing skill by blogging. You can decide to go into blogging, you begin to create content for blogs. You have your own blogs and you begin to also create content for other blogs. Another one is content management. You can decide to be creating amazing content. You can decide to be creating content for brands, for organizations, right? You can decide to be ensuring that every content that an organization wants to put out, whether in email, whether in blog post, whether in post, whatever content that's going to be leaving an organization's table would pass through you. So you are managing every content from that organization. That's what content management is all about. And then you can also decide to be a writer's coach. Since you've learned how to write, you can teach people how to write excellently. You can teach them how to move from not knowing how to write to actually learning how to write. So there are a lot of profit channels through which you can actually start making money. Now let's move to the next slide. All right, so now this is one thing I need you to look at, that circle now. One thing I need you to also know is that these circles are interconnected. So no circle is on its own. So meaning that when you want to get started as a writer, you're asking yourself why, you're asking yourself how, and you ask yourself when. Those answers are interconnected. You cannot function with just one answer. You cannot function with just, okay, you've gotten your why. You know you want to start writing, you want to become a writer because you want to do this, right? So in my own case, the decision I made to actually turn my writing skill from being a hobby to being a business was that I wanted to make massive impact. I wanted to make massive impact. I didn't want a situation where I was just looking at the dreams I had, the big vision, everything that I have, and I could not probably do what I ought to do. All right. So because I wanted to make impact, because I wanted to move from being somebody who had a lot of dreams, I wanted to move from somebody who has a lot of dreams to actually actualizing my dreams. That was the reason I decided that I was going to do what? I was going to move my writing skill from being just a hobby to being what? To being a business. So you need to know your why. And for you to, when you get your why, you now need to ask yourself, how? How do you want to do this? Right? How do you want to move from being just somebody who doesn't know how to write, or somebody who is just a writer, to actually profiting from your writing skills? So before you get started as a writer, you need to ask yourself why. Your why is going to be the strongest motivation you would have. Your why will be the strongest motivation that you will have. When you do not have a why for something, you find out that you are going to be doing that thing lackadaisically. You will find out that you would just do that thing because you want to do it. All right? You will just do it because, okay, let me just do it for now. You will not take time. You will not stay there. All right? I've been in the business of writing for how many years? And I am not thinking of dropping any time. Instead, I am doing what? I am growing in leaps and bounds. I am making sure that I am moving forward. I am bringing up a lot of ways that I can actually impact more lives with my writing skills. I am bringing up ways that I can actually move from where I am to a better place, because I know my why. When you know your why, it will keep you intact. It will make you to be motivated. It will make you to be in love with what you do. A lot of people will say, okay, writing is not my passion. Writing is not what I love. Sometimes your passion does not pay you. I hope you know. Sometimes your passion does not pay you. And what you need to do is to do what? To turn that thing that you want to learn, to turn that thing that would be a profit channel to becoming your passion. When you turn something that you want to learn, let's take for instance, you have not thought about picking up writing as what? As a skill that can help you to profit. Maybe you've not thought about that before. And now today, because you heard Victor said something about you can actually write, you can actually learn how to write, you're now deciding, okay, I think I need to pay attention to this. I think I need to start learning how to write and then start profiting from my writing skills. That's beautiful. Now, the thing you don't need to know is you need to turn that thing to be a passion. If something is not your passion, you cannot stay long at it. If something is not, you're not passionate about something, you would get frustrated at a point. So let's take, for instance, if I was not passionate about writing, I wouldn't be doing whatever I'm doing today. But because I am passionate about writing, because I decided that writing was not just going to be something that was a hobby, I was not going to put into business. That's the reason I moved from what? Being somebody that don't know what she was going to do to actually being somebody who has now discovered her purpose and has discovered her passion and has also moved to earning how from her writing skill. Then the next one is what? How? How can you get started as a writer? The ways you can get started as a writer, number one, by reading books from writers. And when you're reading books from writers, I want to teach you this hack. Don't just read books to get information. Read books to get strategies. Don't just read books to get information. Read books to get strategies. How? So when you are reading a book, you're not just reading a book because you want to get the message of that book. So let's take, for instance, I have this book now. This Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill, right? So this particular book, when you want to read this book, you should not read it because you want to gain clarity and profit from your skill. You should read it because you want to see how the writer was able to pass her thoughts in an exceptional way. I know a lot of you don't know this. So the easiest way to learn something is by learning from somebody who has done that thing. That's the easiest way. So let's take, for instance, if you're reading this book and you get to a point where I was making use of stories, I was sharing my stories, and you're enjoying this book, you're reading this book up to the last page. Don't just get excited that you've read the book finish. Ask yourself, what strategy did Dicta use to write this book of over 40,000 words? Right? And get somebody read this book from start to finish without dropping it. So you are not just getting the lessons of the book, gain clarity and profit from your skill. No, you're not just getting the lessons of the book. You are learning the writing strategy I used. I don't know if I'm making sense. Am I making sense for you today? Is somebody getting my point? I said, when you're reading a book, don't just read the book to get the message. Read the book to get the strategy of the author. Look at what the author did in that book and decide that, okay, this author was able to use storytelling. This author was able to use humor. This author was able to use analogy. I think this was what this author did that made people to like read this book and even made me to read this book from start to finish without dropping it. That is the same thing you should do when you want to now write your own book. You see, learning most times are usually indirect. We have what we call direct learning and we have indirect learning. So direct learning is me coming here to teach you how you should write a book. Indirect learning is you getting a copy of my book to see how I actually wrote it. All right, so we're talking about how you can get started as a writer. All right, and then the next one, you said that the first one is what? Why? The second one is what? How? And then the last one is when. When should you start? When should you start? The best time to start is now. The best time to start is now. Somebody said that the best time to plant a tree was what? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. I think that was how the person put it. But the point is this, even if you have not started, even if you have not started considering how you can actually use your writing skill to build profit, to make massive money, you need to start now. The best time to start is now. So what are the things you need to consider when you want to get started as a writer? What are the things you need to consider when you want to start profiting from your writing skills? So I'm going to be reading something from my book, Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. I need to read this thing so that you can actually get a point I'm trying to make, right? So I want to be reading something from, let me see that. So I want to read okay, I want to read chapter 3, which is message interpretation and patterning, right? Message interpretation and patterning. Probably if you've gotten a copy of my book, you'd want to grab it and then you would want to see how you can actually get this done, right? So the first thing to do when you want to start profiting from your writing skill is to identify your message. And I'm going to be reading a point from a paragraph from my book, Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. So this is the book I'm reading from, all right? So this is the book I'm reading from, Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. So let me read it. It says, your message will also tell how your audience will perceive your brand. If your message is that you offer cheap services or you focus on low-income earners, those who will come by will be mostly people of that income class. If your message positions you as a premium offer or a premium expert, those who will come by will be those who can pay premium. Your message tells to a great extent what you do and for who you do it. This is why interpreting your message is an essential aspect of building a brand. As a skilled person, you must have a message. You cannot become a profitable writer by writing without a message. Everybody who desires to earn from their skills or knowledge must have a message, not just a message, but a powerful message. This comes after identifying what you can do and who you can do that for. Yeah, you are convinced about the profitability and scalability of that knowledge and information that you have. This is why you prove to people and how you prove to people that your solution can be exchanged for money. Now, I will share with you my specialized message template for patterning your message. I have attended a good number of training where this was taught, but as usual, I test whatever I learn, get results, and compare. For this, I am going to be sharing with you the best way to craft your message. This can also cover up as your elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a description of who you are and what you do in 30 seconds or less. It is called elevator pitch because an elevator does not take time to get people to their desired floor in a building. Now, back to my tested and proven message template. Here it goes. I help A solve B to achieve C using D. Now, where your A is what your target audience, your B is the problem you solve, your C is the result your solution brings, and your D is your unique selling point or edge. Now, I want to give you the exact way you can actually define your writing message to start bringing you money. So a lot of people go to their pages and say, I know how to write, or I am a writer. That's just a statement. That's not a value proposition. That's not a statement that can bring you money. That's not a statement that can get people to hire you. But when you have a template that says, I am a writer that helps business owners triple their sales by creating quality content. Did you see what I did there? I was able to target my audience. I was able to share my unique message. I was able to share the result that my audience or my clients will get. And then I was also able to share my unique edge. Did you see the point I am making now? So for you to start making money from your writing skill, you need to know your message. You need to understand what your message is. You cannot just say, I am a writer. The person who says, I am a writer, and the person who says, I am a writer that can help you triple your sales by using excellent content, that person will make more money. So what's my point for you today? As you try to make money from your writing skills, please consider the aspect of what? Profiting. Now let's move to the last point, which is sales. So yes, I talked about understanding impact versus profit. So we'll have a rush view through this. I said number one is what? Mindset. You need to first of all understand that truly you can make money from your skill. You need to accept that whatever it is, you will make money from your writing skill. Have the mindset. You don't have the poor mindset or the rigid mindset that says, okay, there are a lot of broke people, a lot of people that are not making money from their skill. Why should I go further? No. Look at the people that are making money and get encouraged. Number two, superior information. Just like you are here today. Now you've heard something that you've not heard before, that you can truly make money from your skill. And that's what superior information is. You get superior information by reading books. You get superior information by attending workshops and trainings and events, just like you attended today. Number three is ability versus capacity. You need to know that knowing how to write is just an ability. Using that writing skill to provide solution is your capacity. That's why anybody that just has the ability to write cannot make money. But if you have the capacity to provide solutions to people's problems with your writing skills, then you can make money. Then the fourth one is profit gaps. Know the places that people are having issues. Know the gaps that people are having in their business. What is this person experiencing in their business? What does Mr. A looks like he's experiencing in his business? What is the problem of Mr. B? If you can get to the problems of those people and create a solution to them, you have provided yourself with a profit channel. You've bridged that gap and you've got what? Profit from it. And then the last thing you need to consider is what? Sales. I have a long slide on sales, right? I have a long slide on how you can actually start making sales on as a writer. Let's talk about sales. Let's talk about sales. I said that for you to start making sales as a writer, you need to understand that there is what we call marketing and prospecting. A lot of people make these mistakes. A lot of people think, okay, I just know how to write. I need to start making money from my writing skill. Hey, no, it does not work that way. If you don't know how to market, nothing would happen. If you don't know how to prospect, nothing will happen. Marketing, you can start marketing using your content. You start creating content around what you know. You start creating content around that knowledge of yours. That's called content marketing. That's the easiest way to start making sales from what you do. The next one is prospecting. You need to start knowing who your audience are. You need to start pushing yourself in front of your audience. You need to ensure that the people who are going to pay you, the people who can pay you, are the people that are seeing your content. A lot of people think it's just about family and friends. Hey, your family and friends cannot give you the money you need. Your family and friends cannot pay you the money you need to really call yourself a highly paid writer. So you need to move away from having that mentality that your family and friends will buy from you. No, you need to put yourself in that place. You need to show yourself to the people that can pay you. Let's go to the next slide. So if you want to now make sense.
Sorry for interrupting a bit, just because we're pressed on time. We just have like 2 more minutes, but I really, really want to enjoy this slide. So please continue, but just for 2 more minutes, if we can round off so that we can take questions and answers. Thank you.
Okay, business. Thank you so much. So before you make sales, like I said, you need to work on your mindset. So I need you to kick out the myth that you cannot make money. I need you to upgrade your mind that, hey, you can start making money. Then the next one is that you need to productify your knowledge. You need to have your knowledge in books. You need to have your knowledge in courses. You need to have your knowledge in training sessions, host events. That's how you can productify your knowledge and offer valuable content. I said you should create a value ladder. So everybody cannot pay you at probably 10,000 naira. You need to have content, product of 1,000 naira. That's the same thing with every person who you have seen out there. So let's take, for instance, I have a book of probably 7,000, which is this, my book, Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill. The people who cannot afford this book will say, okay, let me go for her book of maybe 1,500, her book of 2,000, that's my ebooks. So you see, I have a value ladder that can accommodate everybody. All right, so the next one is expert positioning. You need to understand your personal message, that's PM, your personal value, that's PV, and your personal voice. When you get your personal message, your personal value, and your personal voice, you have authentically positioned yourself as an expert. And then you teach what you know and you publish content. When you publish content like books, you become an authority in that thing that you do. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I made a list of how you can actually make your first sale, but I think I have a video on my YouTube channel that explains this particular diagram. So I don't have the chance to go over this diagram now, but if you go on my YouTube, you would see a video that explains this particular diagram. All right, so I want to say a big thank you so much to everybody who is here. If you have a question that you want to ask me, please ask me right now. I am here to answer every question of yours.
Wow, such a fantastic, very practical section. I must say thank you so much, Ijoma. On behalf of Queen Dr. Africa and the entire team, we want to say thank you. It was such a profound section, short, but even at that, it was power-packed. So we'll be going over the comments now to see if we have a question. Guys, because of time, we'll be taking just 1 or 2 questions. So this one is first to type. So quickly type in the comments. Someone is asking, how do I get copy of Gaining Clarity? I think the book you talked about.
Okay, so a copy of Gain Clarity and Profit from Your Skill costs 7,000. Just send me a message. My name is Okoye Ijoma Dicta on Facebook. So just send me a message on Facebook and I will attend to your request immediately.
Amazing, amazing. Before you go, not to hurry, I would like to ask a question. I
Okay.
like particularly that you talked about when you're reading a book, don't just read for the message. Reading for the message is great, but then another dimension is reading to know the strategy. I mean, if I could buy this book and sit to read the book, it means there's something the author is doing right. So how can I deploy
Exactly.
that same strategy? It was very profound there. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'd like to add, to ask rather, is there a particular personal branding strategy? Does your personal brand affect the sales of your book? There's a lot of people are writing and they say, oh, it's about my book. I'm always posting, come and buy my book, or this is the value my book is bringing. How can we leverage personal branding? I mean, me as a person, for example, I'm trying to look for Facebook users name. I'm only seeing Facebook user in the comments. Okay, Nimi Adetinra has a book. How can she lean in on her own personal brand to sell her book?
All right. So one thing I tell people is that there's what we call perception. There's what we call perception in branding. A lot of people just put out their brand there. A lot of people just have books and probably they say, okay, I'm an author. They're just putting out their book. They are not really building a kind of perception. What do you want people to think of you? Now, people don't just buy books most of the time because they want you to get your message. People buy books because they like your brand. People buy books because they like the way you position yourself. So how are you putting out yourself? What's the quality of content you put out there? How do you show people who you are? How do you get people to understand your message? How do you even make people to be attracted to your brand? And there's this thing they call aggressive marketing. A lot of people are going into aggressive marketing, which is wrong. Can you now move to attraction marketing? Can you make people to be attracted to your brand so that they can buy from you, instead of going to their inbox and forcing them to buy from you, or going to go and force them and tell them you need this book, you need this book, showing them every day? No, they want to get attracted to something from you so that they can buy from you.
Thank you so much. Remember, guys, for those of you who just joining, this is the Authors Business Summit 3.0. Expand your horizon. And right here with us, we have Okoyedita Ijoma, and she'll share for the past 40 minutes on how to profit from your skill. If you just joined in, our advice, and this is a very good advice from the bottom of my heart, get your friends, your network to watch the replay, because trust me, this here is gold. It's something that you have to pay lots of money from if you were to go consulting, private consulting with her, right, Ijoma? All right, so
Exactly.
we want to say thank you, but we're going to do it together. So type in the chat, everyone, one power word that you want to associate with our speaker today. If you want to use the word powerful, spectacular, please type with a fire emoji in the chat. Let us see that love. Tell us how the section in one word was for you. Please drop in the chat. She's going through the chat. Drop it, and say your thank yous. Someone is saying thank you. Awesome section. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ijoma. We want to say thank you for the time. All right. I'm certain that this first section will be bringing it to a wrap. In the absence of any further questions, we want to say bye. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Bye.
Nice to connect with
Thank
you again
you.
online. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Like I said when I started, is an understatement. And I'm happy that this section lived even more than expected. It lived up to his hype. Someone says impactful as always. Yes, of course. Yes, awesome section. Thank you so much. I'm seeing the comments. Please bring it on. Bring it on. We're warming the ground for the second section, but wow, this first section was amazing. Day two. Day two is really, really, really amazing. Started on a great note. And we're getting ready for the second section. Getting ready for the second section. Please drop at this time. I think this is the perfect time for you to get everybody to join in. This is the perfect time. Hey, good evening, Ma. Thank you so much for being here. And welcome again, everyone. In case you're wondering what is happening here, for those of you who just joined in, this is the Authors Business Summit 3.0. And this is the day 2. It's streaming live on Facebook, and we're also live on YouTube. So you can share the link either from Facebook or YouTube and get people to join in. Let's go for a short commercial break as we come in for our second section in the next 1 minute. So please don't touch the dial. All right, welcome back. I said don't touch the dial. I told you I was coming back in a minute, and here I am. I am very, very much ready. And someone says ready for the next section. Awesome. I like that vibe. Thank you. If you're ready, please drop in the chat ready, because we're about to ascend. We're about to move on to the next level. If you're ready and you're sure you're ready, please drop in the chat ready. We have a speaker right here with us in the studio. I am particularly excited, as you can tell, and for obvious reasons. But I want to see that you're ready. So type in the comments that you are ready. And everybody who went on break, call them, ring the bells, share the link, tell them that we're live, we're back. Our speaker is ready to share with us. Ready, ready, ready. Where is your ready comments? Ready. Great. Great, great. I can see it coming in. All right. So we'll be starting right about now. The person I'm about to introduce is none other than my mentor. I'm going to have the professional introduction, but please permit me to brag. She's a woman she's a definition of value at every point in time, whether casual conversations or serious conversations like this. Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry. I apologize. I think for some reason, the power was kind of intimidated. I was about bragging with the second speaker and decided to show up. But notwithstanding, I'm not intimidated. All right. So apologies for the break in transmission. I had a power outage that really affected my setup. But I'm back. I hope you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, type in the comments that you can hear me so that I can proceed. Type in the comments. Me. Can you hear me? Okay, I will just proceed with the assumption that you can hear me. All right, so as I was saying, our second speaker is going to be handled by one who defines value at every point in time. Her conversations, whether casual or not, always impactful. Every every single time. And the way she just calmly delivers her punches, shakes the table calmly. You know, when you're maintaining beauty and dishing value, that's who this woman is. Maintaining beauty. It's not by fight. Our own is she'll just be giving you the buzz in a soft way. And she's somebody who I have been privileged to work with closely for the past few years, and I have been able to get dose of value. My business, my book. I started being an author. I was an author because of my relationship with her, and then I've gone on to hit different figures, 7 figures, 6 figures, over and over again because of our guidance. And many people can attest to this. If you're part of the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network, you can tell that everything she's going to share here is definitely going to turn your authorship business overboard to a different level. So please join me as I make welcome a multiple Amazon best-selling author, an award-winning principal consultant, and founder at Edago Solutions with footprint across Africa and the UAE. She is a foremost thought leader on mindset and business strategy for entrepreneurs and online publishing for personal and business brands. She is the founder of the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network, a community of over 33,000 authors, writers, and entrepreneurs, helping them become published as well as profiting from their skills using new media. Until date, she has helped over 1,500 authors get published online and in print, with more than 200 Amazon best-selling sellers emerging. Adiri Edewo has won many awards, including the Skill Up Africa Hero Award, Ladies of Honor Award for Leadership 2019, and Iconic Brand Awards for Young Personality of the Year. And in 2019, she was nominated for the Future Award Prize for New Media. She's also listed as one of Nigeria's top 100 influential young Nigerians by Advanced Media, and why Nigeria's most powerful person in media under 14. Hello. I kept on talking. I did not realize that my network went off. I apologize again. I apologize again. Adiri Edewar, I'll be going over to read her professional bio, not to waste our time any further, is a multiple Amazon best-selling author and an award-winning entrepreneur, international speaker, coach, principal consultant, and founder at Edago Solutions with footprints across Africa and the UAE. She's a foremost thought leader on mindset and business strategy for entrepreneurs and online publishing for personal and business brands. She is the founder of the Online Entrepreneurs Network, a community of over 33,000 authors, writers, and entrepreneurs. Please help me make welcome. I want to see the fire in the chats. I want to see that you're ready with a standing ovation if you can, a clapping ovation if you can, a smiling ovation, an emoji ovation, and every ovation that you can muster. Please make welcome today our speaker, Adiri Edewo, who is also my mentor, my big sister, my coachee. Good evening, Ma. So happy to finally see you here at the Online Business Summit.
Thank you so much for having me, Victoria. I miss you so much, as I've told you many, many times over and over again. It's good to
And
see
you look
you.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to share a platform with you again. It's been so long. I can't wait to do something else again and have you come on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I also want to say a huge thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Ebado for having me on the summit once again, and to Print Doctor Africa and also Read of Africa as well. Thank you so much for having me at the third edition of the Authors Business Summit. And Today, this theme for this summit is just amazing, and it actually aligns with the things that I'm going to share with you today. If you can't hear me, I am sorry. I am trying my best, but this is basically how my voice is. As was introduced earlier on, um, I don't have the same kind of vigor with which other people speak, but do not be deceived. Do not be deceived, because the things that I will share with you today have nothing to do with the sound or the cadence of my voice. It has everything to do with the value and the experiences that I've had over time that I'm going to be sharing with you today. The theme for this year is your expanding your horizons, basically harnessing business possibilities for your book, which I think is a really fantastic theme, because with everything that's happening in the world, not just in Nigeria, and with the world at large, we're still basically dealing with the effects of COVID. The world was shut down for almost 2 years. We're coming out of that into a global recession. Whether you like it or not, we are living in a global recession. A lot of things mark global recessions. For example, inflation, increase in the price of goods, crash of the stock market, crash of the oil market, you know, people losing their jobs, people, having to find other opportunities or other ways to be able to feed, to be able to make money. So many other things are also happening. Apart from the pandemic, we also have a lot of natural disasters as well. The world seems to be running out of food. There's climate change. It kind of feels like it's all doom and gloom. But one thing I have learned over time, studying history, is that history always repeats itself, and the world will always be in cycles. Jim Rohn said something. He says that a time of abundance will always be followed by a time of scarcity, and a time of scarcity will always be followed by a time of abundance. In 2018, I attended what is called Next 365. It's an event organized by Olakunle Sheridan. I don't know whether you people know him. He's a futurist, and he brought together some of the world's topmost futurists, people who basically look at patterns and determine the future. And I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday. I was just talking about my predictions for like the media, Hollywood and movie industry, and he was like, "You're a futurist in your own right." And we talked about how I could probably continue to share more of the things. I was just sharing things based on my ability to be able to see patterns, connect patterns, understand statistics, and connect things together to be able to predict how trends and how things are going to go, and how things are going to move in the future. And I've always seen patterns and trends, and how certain small things that you do could have a massive impact in the next 5 years, could become a trend even when nobody is seeing it. For example, 5 years ago, I wrote a book that basically taught Nigerians and Africans how to get published on Amazon. Till now, Amazon is barely in Africa. In fact, they literally just begun expanding into Africa thanks to people like Herconomy and Ifedoro Sumieti. But beyond that, they are also making massive strides to actually expanding not just their customer services, but also expanding opportunities for Africans to be part of the global market through the Amazon platform. But I saw this 5 years ago when nobody realized what was happening. Imagine you being a prophet and going to tell people that the Sahara Desert is going to be a massive, massive agricultural platform, that the Sahara Desert is going to be bringing forth fruit, and you're going to actually be planting food in the Sahara Desert. People will look at you like you're crazy. Why? Because we all know that the Sahara Desert is arguably one of the driest places in the world. It is a desert full of sand. So you look at it and you say, can anything good come out of this thing? But if you have proven over and over again that your predictions seem to always come to pass, people will begin to listen to you. And the next time you make a prediction, even when they cannot see it, they have faith in your experience, in your authority, because you have proven yourself before. Why am I sharing this story? Because it has everything to do with the topic that I want to share with you today. And I was told to talk to you about leveraging your author status to build multiple streams of income. Leveraging your author status to build multiple streams of income. People think that being an author is just about writing books. You write a book and you get published. I'm sure that the speaker before me talked about how to create multiple streams of income, I think, and she's also a member of my community. She's also somebody who basically exploded into authority and notoriety from my community. I think her name is Ijoma Okoye Dicta. Kazima Bolore, who spoke yesterday, is also a member of my community, also blew up again from my community, also increased his visibility, his authority, and his influence from my community, the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network. What happened? I decided that I was going to leverage my authority status to be able to do more, to be able to build influence, to be able to have an impact, but also to be able to increase my income as well. So rather than just writing a book and publishing it and then selling it to people, I decided that I was going to build community and replicate myself in a lot of people so that the impact I will have will no longer be directly related to me, but also be indirectly reproduced in the lives of thousands of other people that I will not even be able to reach. I knew that for me to be able to produce such people, for such people to be able to see themselves in me, to be able to say, hey, if Edirin can do it, then maybe I can also. To be able to say that, hey, Edirin is building something here. And if I can learn how she does it, and from her experience, I have seen that she's successful, it shows that it's also possible for me as well. And they're also able to go and do it as well. So I realized that writing one book, The A to Z of ebook publishing, was not enough. I needed to have a community to foster evangelists who were going to take the words in those books and every other book I would create and the words that I would write in my community and travel with those words farther than I probably would ever be able to go by myself. All right? And so it brings me to the subject of leverage. I'm talking about leveraging your author status to build multiple streams of income. And you may be wondering, what is leverage? What does that mean? In business and finance, leverage means, being able to use borrowed income to increase returns on your investment. According to the dictionary, leverage is the strategy of using borrowed income, borrowing money, for example, from the bank to increase, your investments to have increased returns. Okay, so for example, leverage can mean me going to the bank to borrow X amount of money to buy a car and then using that car as hire purchase to be able to bring me income. From that income, I'll be able to pay back the loan and that car will continue to make me money. That's leverage. I've leveraged debts from the bank. I've leveraged borrowing money from the bank to be able to have a car. The same thing happens when business owners go to the banks or to any loan company to go and borrow money. They borrow money and they're able to build a business that now expands beyond the money that they even borrowed itself. That is leverage in business and finance. Leverage, in the context of what I'll be sharing with you today, has to do with using something to its maximum advantage. Using something to its maximum advantage. And unfortunately, leverage is a word that many authors do not understand what it means. They do not know what it is, and so they cannot take action on that word. If you are not maximizing your author status, you are leaving a lot of money on the table and you are diminishing your shine. You are diminishing your star, you are diminishing your purpose and your destiny. Many people write books and then they publish and then maybe do one launch and that's it. And you are like, okay, I'm an author, I sell books. But you are throwing a lot of money on the table and you are actually seeing yourself as just one thing and not seeing the potential, the maximum effect of what you could do. The previous speaker has talked about multiple streams of income, of how from your book you can actually get speaking engagements, writing opportunities, social media management, and all of those things. I won't go into those things. Those are great and you've learned about them and you should definitely take action on those things. However, there is only going to be a limit to what you can do if you're only leveraging your book, your skill, and the content within the books that you have written to make money, to make extra streams of income. That is the most basic level of leverage that you could ever think of. That, oh, because I'm very good at writing, I can leverage my writing skill to be able to become a social media manager. It is wonderful. I can become a ghostwriter. That's wonderful. I can become a writer's coach. That is wonderful. I can become a speaker. That's wonderful. They're all good, but they are usually dependent on you showing up and doing stuff. And you're still having to work so hard in order for you to get paid. You can say, oh, but I'm creating digital products like online courses and classes and stuff. Those are wonderful. That's the next step. That's great because you're able to create digital products that allow you to be able to have passive income streams, but you still have to actively sell them. You still have to actively sell them. And most times there is practically can actually earn. There is a limit to how much you can actually sell. But guess what? There is something called influence. And influence is the key that maximizes your leverage to impossible infinity results. There is no limit to the level of influence that you can have. There is a limit to how much you can price your product if you don't have a particular level of influence. For example, you and somebody else could have written the exact same book on copywriting, for example. You and that person could have a copywriting course that you both, will put out there and you sell. Fantastic copywriting course, both of them very good in their own rights. But the other person could be selling their copywriting course at $5,000, but you're selling your own copywriting course at 5,000 naira. What is the difference between you and that person who's selling at $5,000? The difference is simply because of the level of their influence. Some of you will be terrified if you are told to create a $1 million product and sell it. Well, guess what? The more you increase in your influence, the more you can actually have the confidence to be able to create and sell products at those prices. What I'm doing here today is to come and shake you a little bit virtually, to shake you out of that small little cupboard that you have built for yourself and you've tucked yourself into and locked it, and you feel comfortable being in that cupboard because you feel like you're safe. You feel like I'm the king of this tiny little domain. I've locked myself in this wardrobe and I'm the ruler of this wardrobe. I'm terrified to step out into a massive mall that is so big that I do not know the end thereof because I do not have control over that, because that puts me out and takes me away out of my comfort zone and into a place that is unfamiliar territory. But guess what? You have to be able to be confident enough to step out into your true self, to step out into your power, to step out into your purpose and your influence. And a book is the first step to actually getting you there. Because when you write a book, you have established your authority in a particular field. The word authority comes from the word authors. When you author a book, you become an authority in that field. But many of you don't even realize the level of authority that you have. You play it small by telling yourself that you wrote a book and you don't know so much. Oh, the book doesn't contain everything, so I cannot be an authority. That's wrong. So you write your book, but that's the first step to maximizing and leveraging your authorship to multiply your income streams. How often do you talk about the content of the book that you have? How often do you add to the content of the book that you have? It's not possible for you to add all the knowledge of a particular field into one book, but are you creating content around the subject of that book to show people that you know beyond just what you have put in that book? Okay? So, you must learn to expand the level of your status as an author. You must learn to maximize and use to the maximum advantage your author status. Because many of you who are listening to me now belong to some kind of author community or the other, you think that everybody that is around you are also authors. And so you have the spirit of see finish that makes you think that it is so easy and it is almost nothing when it comes to writing and publishing a book. Some of you are here, you are listening to me and you're already authors. You've written 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5 different books. And because you've written 5 different books, you are beginning to trivialize the process. And the spirit of see finish has affected you for your own book. Because you think it's easy for you to write a book, you think it's the same ease that other people have to write a book. Because you're surrounded by 37,000 other people who are probably authors as well, you think that the entire world is full of authors. And so you trivialize the value that you have. Am I speaking to somebody? Am I pinching you, or are your eyes shining and you're feeling like this girl is this auntie is just giving me pin like this? Am I speaking to somebody? Am I making you feel a little guilty? But seriously, you wrote a couple of books, you sold them, maybe they did well, maybe they did not do as well as you hoped, but then you rested and you decide to go and write another one and another one and another one, and all you do is just write and write and write books. And then you manage to create a Facebook community, and all you do is post and post and post and post. Then maybe you now decide that, okay, I'm going to create a class and teach a class, and then you create a class, and then it makes you some money and you like it, and so you go and teach another class and another class and another class. Then you decide that instead of teaching a class and teaching classes, I'm going to actually do an online course so that I can have something that I can sell over and over again. You create an online course and you sell it the first time and it did not live up to expectations based on the kind of revenue you're expecting, and you shelve it. You then look at somebody doing something else that they seem to be making money from, and they are putting teams sold out and all of those things, and you decide to go and learn those skills. You go and sign up for their class, you go and see what they have done, you pick at them, and then you diminish your own genius by trying to copy the genius of somebody else. But guess what? You can't copy genius. You can only copy certain people's results to an extent. You cannot understand the genius behind how they create excellent pieces of work, and you cannot replicate another person's genius. But because you're so engrossed in seeing what other people are doing, you forget about your own self or your genius. And because you have taken so much of so many people trying to become other people, you've forgotten who you really are, you've forgotten your essence, and it becomes very difficult for you to dig yourself out of the rubble of other people's works and their influences. You need to learn how to stand in your power, stand in your influence, understand what it is that really makes you you, and stand in and leverage on that. For the longest time, I used to try to speak like everybody else that was my friend. I used to try to speak like Paul Fo. I used to try to speak like Paddy B or Jomo. I used to try to speak like Victor Bassi or John Obidi. But one day, I forgot how to speak like those people and found how to speak for myself and by myself. And that was the biggest impact and the biggest stage I'd ever had. And when I realized how much power the sound of my voice and the way my voice sounds could push people to take action, I realized that it did not make sense for me to sound like any other person, but to be myself. All right? So, how do you leverage on your author status? There are 10 things I'm going to share with you quickly, and I'll just go through them one after the other. Hopefully, you can watch the replay again. I'll talk very fast so that you can come back and watch the replay, okay? But I'm going to go through these 10 things with you, and I'm going to stress on a few of them so that you can actually get the message and begin to go back and probably do a personal deliverance on yourself, on your thoughts, and how exactly you want to show up in your strength. All right? Number one, being an author positions you as an authority in your field. I've shared that with you before. If you are positioned as an authority in your field, you become a go-to person in your field because you've published a piece of information. Okay, number two, it gives you the power of passive income via published assets. A published asset is basically an asset that you have published that allows you to be able to earn money. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Liability is something that takes money away from your pocket. So a book, for example, is an asset. You've published it on a platform, so it's a published asset. Okay, that's my phrase, trademarked by me. Okay, so whether you publish a course or you publish the replay of a class or you publish a paper or a Facebook post, those are published assets. They are putting money in your pocket or they are adding to your level of influence. Okay, number three, you can repurpose your content from your book into speaking, coaching, consulting, product creation, brand merchandise, events, so on and so forth. In 2018, my very first live event that I organized was in Tanzania. That was the same year as well that I had speaking engagements in 3 different countries. Republic of Benin, I think, Kenya and Tanzania, simply because of my book. I was invited to speak at Social Media Week Nairobi in Kenya. in 2018, simply because I was an author, number one, and number two, because I had a community of 14,000 members. In fact, by the time I put in my application, we had only 11,000 members. But 11,000 members and a book was what got me a seat with people who were from Google and Meltwater and all those other platforms. It's amazing what a book can do for you if you learn how to leverage and maximize the book that you have. It's not enough for you to just go and post, I'm an author. What does that do for you? What have you been able to do with the contents of your book? How have you been able to impact people? Do you follow up and keep up with the people who have bought your book and you've seen the impact that your book has had on them? Are you able to actually stand in the social proof of the work that you've done and toot your own horn? Or are you scared that your village people will hear about your success and then they will take everything away from you? Some of you have been so deceived by the African mentality that, you don't need to toot your own horn, you don't need to talk about your own success. But guess what? The people who you see them always speaking at an event or always organizing something or the other, they are the ones that actually get more and more opportunities because people can see what they've done. All right. Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before who? Men, that they may do what? See your good deeds and then glorify your Father. God will not come down from heaven and announce your successes by himself. He needs you to do it. He said, he did not say, let other people shine your light in front of men. He said, let your light go and shine your light in front of other people so that they will see your good deeds. It is important that you announce yourself, because if you don't, nobody is going to do it for you. If you don't position yourself as somebody who's deserving of opportunities, they will not come to you because nobody can trust in the work that you've done. You can say stuff or you can show it. You have to have receipts if you want to actually show up beyond just becoming an author to actually getting a seat at the table. All right. Number 4, becoming an author and leveraging your author status allows you to be able to access a better network of people. There are certain kinds of people who will not listen to you, but will turn around and give you a listening ear simply because you're an author. I can tell you that for free. It allows you to have access to certain people. It's not just going to an event and then forcing your books in the hands of people. It doesn't work like that. We talk about books being actual business cards, and that's true. Books have replaced business cards in the space of networking today. So you're going to events, it's good to take your own books. And that's why it's important for you to print your books as well. I hope Print Doctor is letting you know that it's important for you to print your book. Books are the new business cards. It's not enough for you to write a book and then it's an ebook forever and ever. You must print it. It's must. While it is good to start by writing and publishing as an ebook, take the money you make from the ebook and go and print. Print Doctor allows you to be able to print as little as 50 copies. You don't need to print 1,000. Print your books and have copies of your books with you. Okay? It's important. Never, ever, ever run out of copies of your books. Always have your own author copy with you wherever you go. Have your own personal author copy and have enough to be able to give to somebody else wherever you go. I'm here in the UAE, in Dubai, and I met somebody who is the wife of a billionaire. And we talked and had a conversation. I showed her a copy of my book. This is one of my books. It's one of my books. And this is another one of my books, right? I showed her my book and she immediately in my presence sat down, went to Amazon and ordered copies of the books here, so for the book to get to her here. Okay? So, people, have copies of your book. It's important. Print Doctor will help you to print your book. Go and line up now. Maybe it will be available in the next 2 months. I don't know, because they are always very busy. But first come, first serve. So go and start putting your orders now for them to print for you. Okay? It allows you access to a better network of people. There's certain kinds of people that will only listen to you when you introduce yourself as an author. Which brings me to the next point, which is it helps you access to better opportunities. If you have a better network of people, you have better access to opportunities. You have better networks of people, you have better access to opportunities. Some of you are so stuck with your friends and below, you don't know how to network up the ladder because you're terrified. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you don't have value, but you're an author. You always forget to bring up the fact that you're an author when you are introducing yourself to people. Why? Maybe, just maybe, and I'm going to call out a couple of people, just maybe you feel like you did not do a good enough job in your book. So does that mean that you need to go and write a second edition? Maybe. Does that mean that you need to go and write another brand new book? Maybe. If you know that you just throw up some things and you throw up jargons like cut and nail carpenter together just so that you can say that you're an author, that may be the reason why you're terrified of mentioning the fact that you're an author and you don't want to introduce yourself as that. Guess what? I've done many things in my life. I'm a consultant. I'm a coach. I'm a certified results coach and a performance consultant. I'm certified. I've worked in 6 and 7 figure publishing business. I've published for people that I've published. I will even say it. I've consulted for the current ambassador, Nigerian ambassador to Greece. You know who she is, Nimi Akinfube. Consulted for her publisher to get her books on Amazon. I've worked with people that I cannot also mention their names because I've signed NDAs. But those things are not as important as the fact that I'm an author. If you Google me on Google and you check out my knowledge panel, the first thing you will see there is my picture and then my name. And then you will see that the title is author. Because you have no idea how powerful that word is. You abuse it. They say when the usefulness of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. You abuse your status as an author. You don't know how to comport yourself. You don't know how to use your title because you don't understand the power that there is. Many of the people that you see out there today who are influencers or who are experts, who are making an impact, they all have books. They all introduce themselves as authors. I'm not just talking about people like Chimamanda Adichie, for example, who's known as an author. I'm talking about people like Grant Cardone, who's known as a real estate investor, but he will always tell you he's an author. People like Robert Kiyosaki, who was actually in real estate, but decided to be known as an author. About Gary Vee, who's known as somebody who has a media company, but decides to be known as an author. There are so many people out there who consult for presidencies, who consult for massive Fortune 500 organizations, but they choose to be known as authors. And you think that because your book is not 200 pages long, you cannot call yourself an author. Being an author has nothing to do with the size of your book. It has everything to do with content and the value that you have put inside to help other people. Okay? So, it allows you access to better network of people. It allows you access to better opportunities. Being an author opens you up to opportunities even far beyond the scope of your book. So don't just think that, oh, the opportunities that will come to me are simply opportunities that have to do with the work that I do. I've worked with pastors. I've worked with politicians. I've never written a book for pastors or politicians before. I've worked with people who are of a different religious faith than me. I've never written a religious book in my life before. I'm currently working with somebody who's in the media space, who's in TV. I've never written a book for TV before. But it allows you opportunities in a wide range of spaces. And it's not just about saying I'm an author. You have to also prove that you have sense, because people look at authors as people who have sense. So you have to prove it beyond just selling your books. You have to prove it in the content that you put out there. You have to prove it in the community that you build, whether you're building your community on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or on some other platform, maybe Substack or something else. You're building community. The people will value your opinion because you're an author. So when you open your mouth, make sure that the things that are coming out of your mouth are things that are of value. Make sure that you are avoiding things that will put you in compromising situations. Make sure that when you open your mouth to share value, your opinion is so valid that you don't talk often. You don't find yourself in every social media space, arguing with everybody left, right, and center. You do not find yourself. We do not find your comments in gossip blogs. We do not find your comments in the comment section of people who are arguing blindly. We do not find your comments in the comment section of people who are saying all kinds of things that do not add or edify. We do not find your comments in people who just have to say something because they feel like social media gives them the right to an opinion. All right? Because you're an author, your words are valued. You are seen as a wise person. And if you throw away that wisdom to the swines, nobody will want to come near you or ask for your opinion or invite you to speak at an opportunity, or even put you in a space where you can have access to many other opportunities. Okay? So it allows you access to better network of people, access to better opportunities. It allows you access to a global market. You cannot probably learn to speak 5 or 10 different languages, but your book can reach people who have never heard of English before. It's very hard for you to teach a class in Portuguese. It's hard for you to create an online course in French, but your book can easily be translated to French, to Portuguese, and reach a market that you probably will never be able to step foot in your life. There are people out there who have been able to reach millions of people, and the only reason why they were able to achieve that is simply because they got their books translated. How many of you here are working on translating your book at least to French so that you can at least get to Francophone Africa? There's a huge market in Francophone Africa, people who are waiting for the manifestation of what you have. But because you've not translated your book into French, you have not been able to reach them. You don't have to speak the language to be able to impact the people. If you want to expand into the global space and go where your mates have never gone before, the easiest way is to find a translator. You can get them on Fiverr. Get somebody who can translate your book to a different language and just simply publish it in that space. How do you publish? Publish on Amazon, or you can even publish in your country and decide to set up a website, but in a different language, and then be running ads to it and sell your book to those people. So many valuable information is hidden, and there is a huge fence around information, not because of only the third world fence, but because of the language barrier. Your book may be just what would save some people's lives and their destinies and their economies in a different country, but you're sleeping on it. All right? Leveraging your authorship status allows you to be also able to have better chances with visa and immigration applications. If you're an author, you're seen as somebody who has an extraordinary ability, but you did not know that. I can guarantee you, unless maybe you've been listening to me on my own communities, or maybe you attended my global business masterclass. But did you know that being an author actually helps you with your visa applications and your immigration applications as well? For example, you can easily migrate to the US with as little as $2,500 and something called an O1 visa. This is not information that you hear everywhere, and I can guarantee you that most of you, 99% of you, have never heard of a type of visa called an O1 visa. It's a visa of extraordinary abilities. Why is it that suddenly when people started to jackpot, you saw that people who were thought leaders in our space are suddenly abroad? Why? And how? How did they suddenly get there, and how are they suddenly living there? Do you think it's the H1B1 visa that everybody is using, the tourist visa, and they're going to get jobs there? Absolutely not. But guess what? These people know that your extraordinary abilities have to show for, and being an author is one of the first and the best and the fastest way to be able to achieve those kind of opportunities when it comes to visa. So you want to jackpot, why have you not written a book? You want to jackpot, why is your book not on international platforms like Amazon? You want to jackpot, why is your book not listed on Read of Africa so that it can easily be found? You want to jackpot, why is your profile not listed as an author on your Google profile, on your Google panel? You have not claimed your Google panel. You've not claimed your Amazon Author Central panel. Do you know that you can have a profile as an author on Amazon if you're published there? Do you know that you don't even need to be published on Amazon to have your profile massively broadcasted to the rest of the world on a platform like Read of Africa? Read of Africa is a baby between, that was created by Mr. Abaddon and Print of Africa. That is basically a directory for authors. They are looking for Black and African authors. That's the platform that they go to. But you don't know, or maybe you know, but for some reason you don't do. Maybe because you're intimidated or you're scared. It's free. They're not asking you to pay for it. It's a massive platform that allows you to be able to have massive visibility, but you're sleeping on it. Okay, I told you that the sound of my voice will not reduce the level of the that I'm going to give to you. So I hope that the things that I'm sharing with you are not just shocking you into silence, but also helping you to realize that there's a lot of work that you need to do as an author. It also helps you gain respect wherever you go. For example, you are traveling abroad, or you're in the airport and they want to start harassing you and they ask you, what is it that you do? Do you know that just simply saying that you're an author, bringing out a copy of your book and showing them, will get every immigration officers or custom officers to be silent? I get out of any kind of unnecessary ruckus simply by just holding my book and telling them I'm an author, because I'm small, I'm tiny, and I'm single, I'm not married. Most times they want to ask me whenever I'm traveling abroad for whatever reason or the other, who are you, where are you going to, and what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm an author, I'm going for a speaking engagement. You're an author. The last time I was traveling, the last 2 times I was traveling from Nigeria, some dude just came and like, yeah, who are you? I said, I'm an author. I said, so what is your name? I'll Google you. I just laughed because that's the best thing he could have ever done. And he picked up his phone and he typed, type your name. I typed my name and I showed him. And my Google panel and my Amazon book and Read of Africa, and then all the other things just showed up. Blah, 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 blah. He was looking at it, looking at it. He saw the pictures. He could not deny that it was me. Like, remove your mask. I removed my mask. I was looking at him. I was just smiling because I knew that this person probably did not know. But he saw the word author and he realized that this person who's an author is a respected member of society, and it's possible that she has connections with people that are much, much higher than me when it comes to power. So I better let her go. And that's how I left, because that dude was ready to harass me and extort me. I never paid a penny. Since I became a published author, I've never had to give a penny to a customs officer or an immigration officer at the airport when I was traveling. Never. Or even on the road when I'm being stopped by in my Uber. Never. But it also, beyond that, it also gives you respect when you go to somebody else's country. Whether you like it or not, as Nigerians and Africans, there are prejudice against us, especially when you're going out without your green passport and they find out that you're Nigerian. There is a certain prejudice and the way they will treat you. But guess what? You're an author in a foreign country. You have your book with you that says you're an author, especially one that not even has your picture. The respect, the level of service that will be accorded you, because they're like, this Nigerian is not an ordinary Nigerian. You're an author. Immediately, you're put on the same level of influence as Chimamanda. Everybody knows Chimamanda. In this country that I am, I'm currently in the UAE, I'm in Dubai. I've been living here now for almost 1.5 years. Actually, 1.5 years about. I've been living here for 1.5 years. As soon as I mention that I am an author, the next is, oh, author like Chimamanda. I'm like, yes, like Chimamanda, exactly like Chimamanda. Like, how many books? Like, I have 9 books actually already. Most of them are on Amazon. Practically every single one of them on Amazon have been bestsellers. They look at me like I'm an alien. But you don't know, and you've been taught to diminish your author status, and you don't see the opportunities that are available to you just because you're an author. Do you know that if you walk into any ministry and you tell them you're an author and you're coming to do research concerning a book that you're writing, they will accord you the respect and allow you to go wherever you want to go? It's almost like a pass, a free pass into wherever it is that you want to go. I'm telling you things out of personal experiences, and there's some of these things are things that I cannot really type, but on events like this, I'm able to actually share them with you. So do not see being an author as something that anybody can do or anybody can have. I can tell you this, that at least 70% of people want to write a book, but they can't. But those of you who have already written your book, you have a one-up on a lot of people. And those of you who have not written a book yet, you need to start writing immediately. All right? If you want to learn how to write a book, I did a free YouTube video on YouTube. Go and type Edinye Edewo on YouTube. You will see my videos there. I did a free video to teach you exactly how to write and publish your book. I think it's titled How to Write, Publish, and Sell Your Book in 24 hours or less. You don't need to write for a month. You can actually put out a really, really concise book in 24 hours or less. You just don't know how much you know until you test yourself. Sometimes you think that you don't know enough until you actually sit down to begin to write, and then you realize that you know so much, you don't even know where to stop anymore. Okay? So you're respected wherever you go as an author. You are not restricted to only your field, like I shared before. Because you're an author, you are seen as somebody who's wise. So people would look for you and look for your opinions on different subject matters. No matter what your field is, you're an author in fiction, they will look for your subject matter. So look at Chimamanda Adichie. She's an author and she writes fiction, and she writes African fiction, but look at her in world stage. She's talking about feminism. She's talking about African culture and religion. She's talking about so many other things that have nothing to do with it. Can you say what field Chimamanda is in? You really can't. You want to enter into a particular field and become known there, write a book. You have knowledge about a certain thing, write a book about it. Okay? So, you are not restricted to only your field simply because you wrote a book on that field. It allows you to be able to explore other things, because as an author, when you've written a book, your words have more power. So when you're writing on social media, you're writing with intent. You're writing with intent. And because you're writing with intent, because you are now an ambassador of yourself, you're writing with intent, You are now able to even do more research and write about other things, and people want to get your knowledge and get your experience and your thoughts and your opinions on other things that matter. Okay? So you're not restricted to your field, and it's easy for you to expand into other fields from a place of authority. It is easier for an author in business, for example, to expand into writing a book for children. I have done that. It is easier for you to expand into different other fields as an author because you already have an established authority. So don't also think that your authority as an author is only in the space that you have written in or in the field that you have written in. You are an authority, you are an authority. It is now easier for you to expand into a different field simply because you have established authority already before. So these are 10 different ways I've shared with you that you can leverage your author status. There are so many other things I would have wished to share, but I'm completely out of time. And I know that if you leave me to talk, I'll talk from now to tomorrow. There's so many experiences, so many instances, so many other points I could share with you. But it is important that you build your influence. All right. So it's not enough for you to just be an author. You must leverage on that influence, build community, continue to share content across platforms, continue to put out content that announces you as the authority in a particular field. Continue to do stuff, organize events, reasonable events, organize events, talk about it. Social proof is important. All right. Build your influence. Be intentional about building your influence. All these things that you're seeing here that are happening here, what's happening with Print Doctor is that by organizing an event like this, he's actually able to increase the influence of Print Doctor Africa simply because of this event that he has done. Take a cue for people who are doing the things that you want to do and ask yourself, what are they doing that I need to do? And how do I improve myself so that I can eventually become somebody who's capable of doing these things one day? All right. So with these few points of mine, I hope that I've shared enough with you to go and listen, think, observe, don't cry, don't worry. Every single journey starts with a single step. You know, it was only 5 years ago, and today is 5 years now. And look at what I've been able to accomplish in only 5 years. The next 5 years will come and go. All right. So I've been played out. Thank you.
Wow. I said it. And how calmly you dish the value, and it just seeps through clearly, articulately. Thank you so much, Coach Adiri, for this amazing section. So I'll be going through the chat now. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments. If you have questions, we have just about 14 minutes to go. If you have questions, just drop in the chat. I'm going through the comments now to see if we have questions for Coach Adiri. Now is the time. See, I always say this. This is an opportunity you should squeeze. She has given us 1 hour of her time. If you know how much that costs, you would want to squeeze in quotes every time we have here with her. Because if you're going for private coaching, you would, which you should, by the way, you would spend thousands of dollars, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, ask your question. She's here and ready to take them. So Peace says, thank you, VC, value personified. Mary says, thank you, Madam Adiri. Thank you so much for the value shared. God bless Queen Doctor. I am guessing that they were so clear with the charge. Do you have any question? Okay, so I guess I have to ask my question then. Okay, somebody says, what account do we need apart from Payoneer to receive money from Amazon? What account do we need?
You don't need any other account apart from Payoneer if you're Nigerian.
Okay, great. I hope that question, did you get the answer? Facebook user. Sorry, your name is not written there. Peace is asking, how do one add to the content of a book that has already been written and published when building an authority?
That's why you have books that have second editions and third editions and revisions. Usually those books are books where either content that was obsolete before has been changed to be updated, or extra new information concerning that field or the topic has been added as content to the book. And once you're doing that, you just republish again as a new edition. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so I want to ask a question coming from the first section we had about personal branding. I know you talked a lot about influence, and it has always been one of the messages that you pull forward. Are there some steps that authors can take in building their personal brand? Because I think that's where the influence for their book comes in. Aside just writing a book and always publishing it, how does the personal brand impact on the book sale, and what are the strategies personal brands can take on?
Uh, Luckily, not sure you will say it's a symposium discussion. Me, I would say that that's another book. That's an entire book, and it actually is. There's a book that I wrote. Maybe if you want to get it, if you're interested in actually building your influence, because it really covers personal brand from A to Z. It's called Zero to Influence. All right. I don't know if I'm allowed to share the link to mention the link to the book. I wasn't
Yes,
told if
please.
I'm.
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
so if you want to get the book, you can actually get it at edirin.com/shop/zero dash to dash influence. Zero to influence. Yeah. That's it. I think the book is currently on sale right now at just 2,500 instead of the regular 5,000 naira. So you can get it where I itemize 5 simple steps to help you to get to the place of influence within 90 days or less. It's not an overnight thing. You will not automatically just do logo and then change your hair and paint red lipsticks and suddenly you have a brand. It doesn't work that way. You know, it first of all starts with understanding your vision, right? Because brand without vision is nothing. You can put a logo, but if your logo and your vision and your message do not align, it will not help you. So understanding your vision and managing the vision is one thing. Then understanding your customer clients and your customer journey. All right. I know probably branding always talks about understanding your messaging. So your message is important. Who do you want to serve and how do you want to serve them? What kind of problems you want to help them solve? That's your message. Then the people that you want to serve, how best can you show up for them and how many are they in such a way that you can provide a solution for 10,000 people and 1,000,000 people and enough people to be able to know. For example, Coca-Cola, their goal and their mission is to be able to sell more Coke than water. That's a powerful vision. It's a powerful mission. You know that it probably may not happen, but it's a driving force. All right. Who are the kind of people that you want to help? And how exactly can you connect your message to them in such a way that it actually really, really helps them and you want to actually follow them through their entire journey? Customer journey is another case entirely when building your brand, in understanding the kind of people that you want to work with and where you need to meet them and where you want to take them to. It's very, very important. When it comes to building your brand, the other superficial parts, apart from publishing and then business, having a proper business and systems and tools that work, really has to do with you yourself in the way in which you show up, the platforms that you show up, the kind of content that you talk with, the kind of tools that you use. You cannot say that you're an influential author, for example, and then I ask you, how do you do business? What are the tools that you use in doing business? And you're showing me one small phone and you tell me that that's where you write your book and do your tools. So you're not serious. That's the honest truth. You may not be there yet, but you need to plan to get there. There is nothing wrong with starting with a small smartphone, but you need to learn to scale in the tools that you use. You want to start doing events and organizing massive events to invite amazing people. You want to invite an Nigerian there. Well, you tell me that you're going to be holding your class on WhatsApp. I won't come. Why? Because it's stressful for me to teach on WhatsApp. People are using platforms like StreamYard or maybe even YouTube Live or Zoom. Why would you now want to stress your speakers by bringing them to come and start sending voice notes? You want to use the right tools to convey the right message, all right? I'm not saying fake it till you make it, absolutely not. I'm saying work for it so that you can get there. You've done enough WhatsApp classes that have allowed you to be able to have enough money to pay for a Zoom. Zoom costs maybe about 6,500 per month. If you're not ready to sell 6.5 books every single month to cover your Zoom costs, what are you doing? Then there's also the way in which you show up. All right. Where do we see you? Personal brand is about perception. If I see your comments always in all those gossip blogs and stuff, always going to laugh there, I will not take you seriously as an author because I'll think that you're just somebody who's just doing stuff so that you can make money from the book because you didn't have any other choice. But you want to show up as a king or a queen or whatever it is that you want to show up as royalty. You want to make sure that you're not everywhere spewing all kinds of words that are not filtered. You have to be able to filter your words. If you're somebody who struggles with the English language, when writing, go and register for writing classes. I think Eketi is here. I think I saw her comment. Eketi teaches creative writing classes. Go and learn from her. She does a lot of content on her platform where she teaches the correct spellings of words and stuff. Learn from her. I used to, even though I don't consider myself terrible at English, but I still go back to Queen Primer and all those primary school English book to go and study again so that I don't make mistakes when the time calls for me to actually speak with people who will judge me by my English mistakes. We cannot say English is not our mother tongue. It is. We were colonized by the British and it is our mother tongue. And if you're going to communicate in a language, it is best for you to respect the rules of that language and then use it well. The same thing goes for speaking. You're speaking and you know that you have H factor or R factor. Your accent is showing up in such a way that it may prevent you from having international opportunities. When I say prevent you, I mean in such a way that we really, really don't understand you. I'm not talking about that you're not going to be faking accent to and be saying, the Lord will come and do other things, be rolling your tongue in such a way that people are looking at you like, what's happening? I'm speaking with my own Nigerian accent, but I'm very, very clear. I'm able to enunciate my words correctly. Someone like Ketura Oyibo, K's speech concept, I think that's her name. She can teach you how to get rid of your R factor and your H factor in one class. You have to do the things that will help you to be able to get to a particular level of perception, because only God looks at the inner mind and the heart. Man will judge you by your outward appearance and the things that you put out there. So it's important for you to work towards becoming, building your personal brand in such a way that you are mindful of the things that you say, you are mindful of the things that you write, you're mindful of the tools that you use to show up for the work that you say that you do. You cannot claim that you are the best grass cutter in the whole of the world and you're using cutlass. Your tools don't match the skills that you're trying to present yourself. You probably should have tractors and massive machines for cutting grass. Okay, show up with the right tools and then give it time and be consistent.
Amazing. This is a full masterclass. Wow. Thank you so much for the answers. Very clear. I will just be going through the comments again just to take one more question. We're about 5 minutes out of time. So, do we have any other question? In the absence of questions, we're going to be calling this to an end. Okay. Trying to go through. Okay, this has been asked. Okay, so we do not have any further question. Thank you so much, VC. We appreciate your time here on behalf of Free Dr. Africa and the entire team. But there's a way we're going to appreciate you together here. Please type in the. Let me see that with a fire emoji, please. Please drop that with a fire emoji. One word that sums up the section for you tonight. I'm going through the comments, and Coach Adiri is also looking through. She wants to see, did you get value from it? If you did, please type in the comments. We want to see it. Type in the comments. How was the section for you? OKP says thank you to your moderator. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Fire emojis. Yes, aside the fire emoji, I want to see one word. What was it for you? How was the section for you? Someone says beautiful, amazing. Keep dropping the comments. We have 3 more minutes to go, and we have to let Coach Adiri go in a grand style. So I want her to read the comments. Keep dropping your comments, the fire emojis, the one word that sums up the section for you. Keep dropping the thank yous. Someone says transforming, amazing. Thank you. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Thank you so much, Coach Adiri. We want to say thank you for being at the Alters Business Summit 3.0 2022. It was an exciting time with you as always. And the replay is going to be available on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Abadan as well. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening as well. Thank you.
All right. Bye, ma'am. Thank you. Enjoy a
Bye.
great evening. All right, we had such a fantastic time. I told you that the sections today. Amazing. So if you joined in late, I would advise that you go catch the replay. It's available on Facebook at Queen Doctor Training Center and also on YouTube at Queen Doctor Africa. You can also watch it again because, I mean, from the first section, we had Ijoma Dicta, and then the grand finale today, we had Coach Ediri. You can also click the link. There's a link there, ediriedero.com/shop to get the book that she recommended. www.ediriedero.com/shop/0 to influence. Go get that book. And also, please follow us on Instagram at Queen Doctor Africa. Join the training center if you're not there. If you're an author, intending author, you have friends who are authors, invite them to join the community. We have events, signature style events like this for authors. If you want to learn how to publish your books, if you want to learn how to make money, create income streams for your book, here is the right place to be. And so again, I'm saying this, go follow us on Instagram for not just from this section we had today and even the one we had yesterday. Follow us at queendoctorafrica.com. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow's section starts by 4 p.m. Same place, same venue on YouTube, Queen Doctor Africa. And then on Facebook, there's a Facebook group, Queen Doctor Training Center. Please do well to look for it on Facebook and join. Thank you so much. It's an honor moderating the section for today. My name is Victoria Wana. See you tomorrow. Enjoy a great evening.